Wonder Woman #0, written by Brian Azzarello, art by Cliff Chiang. I don't know what to make of this issue. Not in plot, but on the first page there's a caption box that says, monthly monster strikes again. Rather than give Wonder Woman's merry men their marching orders, blah, blah, blah. May you enjoy this magnificent missive that originally appeared in All Girl Adventure Tales for Men #41. I don't know if they're serious or not. I couldn't find anything about it. So anyway, this issue picks up with a young Diana climbing up to a harpy's nest that's on a cliff. The harpy starts attacking her, but she manages to steal an egg from it. And the whole reason that she's trying to steal an egg as she swims down into an underwater cave is that it is Queen Hippolyta's birthday. And, it is Diana's birthday, and it is custom that Diana has to give Hippolyta a gift that is amazing. And so they're like, well, all I got was a harpy's egg, bitch. And everyone's like, yay, Diana, hooray. So we see a mysterious, shadowy figure looking on, saying, maybe this girl could be useful. So later on, we see at the, birthday festivities, a young Amazon called Alika is having a little sparring duel with wooden swords with Diana. And Alika's like, yeah, I'm actually going to mess you up, Diana. And at that point, Diana's like, okay, but I can't let you do that. So she just gets the sword out of Alika's hand and knocks her down on her ass. And Alika's so pissed off by this, she calls Wonder Woman clay and throws mud in her eye, to which Diana starts choking Alika out. She has to be pulled off her by Diana, which, upsets, or pulled off her by Hippolyta, which upsets Diana. So Diana runs away crying, and she is greeted by the god of war, Ares. And Diana's like, oh, geez, hey, Ares, what do you want? And he's like, here's the thing. You have a lot of skill. I saw you fighting. Maybe you should let me train you, because I can teach you stuff that Amazons couldn't. And she's like, that sounds great. Let's do it. So over the course of the next year, every full moon, they got to training. And Ares is like, hey, you're pretty cool. And Diana's like, thanks, you're pretty cool too. And the entire time, Diana's getting better and better at her Amazonian stuff as well. She's not letting one side falter for the other. She's just becoming an all-around better, well-rounded person. Until finally a year has passed, and they are going to celebrate Diana's birthday, but Diana says, nah, I want to use actual real swords. And Ares is like, no, because if you're going to use a real sword, you need to be ready for a real fight. And she's like, I'm ready. And he's like, okay, fine. So full moon comes up, and Ares is like, you want a real fight? We fight to the death. And he's like, I don't want to kill you. And it's just like, you want a real sword? That's what that means. So for hours they fight, and in the end, Diana manages to get Ares' sword away from him, but then he uses his own wits to get Diana pressed down with her own sword to her neck. And Diana's like, all right, well, I'm ready to die by your hands. And Ares is like, no, you don't. War means fighting to the death. You do not just accept it. You constantly fight it. But you're not going to die tonight. It's okay. So at this point, he points out to her, okay, you want to go get a good gift for Hippolyta? Over there is something that would be the greatest tribute of all time. Go in there and get it. And she crawls inside this little cave, and she's like, I'll make you proud, War. And he's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So she goes inside, and it turns out that she is in the labyrinth. Somehow she is in the same labyrinth as the Minotaur, and the Minotaur comes across her, and immediately a fight breaks out. Diana, she thinks that she's hopelessly outmatched. She doesn't have any weapon that can take it down, especially in combat. But she uses her wits. As she brought along a rope to keep her track in the labyrinth, she uses the rope as a lasso to knock the Minotaur down on his feet. And then she's like, okay, I got some breathing room. What now? And she remembers the whole Ares thing of using your opponent's weapon against them. So as the Minotaur charges against Diana, she very quickly moves out of the way of the Minotaur, causing it to hit its head on the wall and get stunned for a second, long enough for Diana to come up and smash a giant rock over its head. Not killing it, but knocking it out. And then at this point, Ares comes in and just be like, hey, good job. That's the tribute. You get to take the Minotaur's head. So she throws her a sword and says, go ahead, cut off his head. And she's about to, but then the Minotaur wakes up and opens its eyes and looks all scared. And Diana's like, I can't do it. I can't kill this thing. And Ares is like, are you kidding me? No, like, yeah, no, I spared you, but, well, he didn't say that. He's like, no, all of purpose of war is to end conflict. If you leave him alive, he can get revenge on you. And that's not the purpose of it. You have to kill him. And Diana's like, well, you let me go. And he's like, okay, you know what? No, screw this. I curse you. You are my greatest failure. You are a failure of a student. How dare you? And then he just leaves Diana with the Minotaur. And the Minotaur gets up and she thinks like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to die now. But the Minotaur looks at her seemingly out of respect and is just like, okay, all right, well, that's something. And the Minotaur just lets her go. And as she follows her lasso back out of the labyrinth, she comes back to Themyscira and she's like, okay, well, I don't know what I can give my gift for Hippolyta. I guess I can show her my mercy. Yeah, that's a good gift. The end. If this was a reprint of an earlier story or something like that, I mean, it fits perfectly with the story that they're doing now. But it was just that first caption threw me off for the entire rest of the story. Like, I was just waiting for it to be something out of continuity or something that didn't make any sense. But like, it constantly was just like, yeah, no, that's like pretty much exactly the same. So I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe they were just being cheeky. It just threw me off. It does have Brian Azzarello credited in this issue as Brian Kiss My Azzarello. So there's that. Overall, though, it was a good issue. It was just a Wonder Woman like training story, and then throwing in a little bit of her morals and how she came to be in that regard. So overall, I'd say this issue is definitely like a solid 7.5. It just, I really want to know the backstory on that first caption box because it's throwing me for a loop, man.